you hear me?
I know what this is. This is Bastogne. I studied it at the academy.
Do you guys remember this? It's one of the weird World War II sequences in the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 campaign. The mission is based on the Siege of Bastogne. The location was Belgium, and the belligerents were the United States on one side and Nazi Germany on the other. The cause for the siege was as follows. The Germans needed to both reach and occupy the harbour at Antwerp, the most heavily populated city in Flanders. In order to do so, they had to gain control of all of the eastern roadways throughout Belgium. It just so happened that the 7 major roads that they needed to secure all passed through Bastogne. In the days before the siege, the Germans cut off all supply routes to the city. The Americans within were not only surrounded, but also outnumbered 5-1. They didn't have cold weather gear, there were no resupplies of ammunition on the way, they didn't have a lot of food, medical supplies were extremely short. All of this, combined with the fact that they were experiencing absolutely abhorrent winter weather, meant that overall, the fate of the Americans looked like it was fairly certain and definitely not going to go in their favour. The siege ended up lasting a week, from the 20th to the 27th of December, 1944. On the 22nd, the German commander sent a message to the Americans, giving them the opportunity for an honourable surrender of the encircled town. The American response reads as follows. To the German commander, nuts! The American commander. Pretty damn epic. Why am I telling you all of this? Well, Sarah Hall, this floating woman here, cites this very battle in her final paper as one of the greatest examples of courage and bravery in military history. She says she used to dream about it. Now, in this mission, we are inside her mind. We are essentially living one of her dreams. She can't even believe that we're fighting on the battlefields of World War II. It doesn't make sense to her. She questions it herself. But that's where we are. That said, the question of how those last 2 minutes of information are related to the title and thumbnail of this video remains. Let's clear that up, shall we? Yesterday, Treyarch released the following video discussing Nikolai's Memories. Before I play it, I'd like to remind you to smash the like button with your left ankle. Okay, here we go.
It is said that it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. I feel differently. Regret can consume a man so deeply that it will blacken his heart and swallow his soul. For so long we have been fighting. Many battles, many wars. I lost only one. We have seen impossible things, cheated death countless times. I can no longer deny the possibility of an unseen power, a guiding hand, helping us to fulfill our destiny. My path is chosen, our fate is sealed. But the innocent, the children, those untainted by darkness and chaos, they can find a better tomorrow.
So, Jason Blundell, who works at Treyarch and is the director of campaign and zombies in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, specifically stated that that video that you've just watched relating to Nikolai's Memories is a DLC teaser trailer for Awakening, which releases first on PS4 next year in February. The zombies map in that map pack is Der Eisendrache, set in an Austrian castle in currently an unknown time period. We know very, very little about it, but we now have this trailer which we can pick apart and try and use to understand what the hell might be going on. I posted a full breakdown of the video yesterday, which is linked in the description, and I left you guys with one simple question. Where on earth is Nikolai sitting when he remembers and imagines this house? You see it here. He's sitting on the log, and the log then fades into this house in which you can see a gramophone and some shelves in the background there. There's a window and some pictures as well. What exactly is the significance of this house? A lot of people in the comments section said, Milo, it's Samantha's house, of course. You see Samantha's house in the Origins cutscene, obviously.
Getting everything wrong. I told you before, their eyes should be blue.
It's my turn, Eddie. I can do whatever I want.
But you don't even know how to play properly. Girls don't know enough about zombies.
That's a choice you made, children. Make sure the windows are locked before you come down to the basement.
You'd better do what your dad says. I didn't even get my turn.
We've also seen Samantha's house in the Shadows of Evil scraps of paper, which is on your screen now. Heck, Nikolai even mentions the children specifically in his memory segment, and so maybe it's Samantha's house. Other people were saying, no, it's not Samantha's house, it's just wherever Nikolai lived before the war. Or maybe it's one of the houses that Nikolai visited before he reached the Origins site. We know about those travels because of the letters from the field, which I'll bring up in a moment. Pretty much directly after I posted my video, a chap called Colton0402 tweeted me and said the following. Milo, you big watermelon, I think I might have found something. I followed up and he pointed me directly towards this very campaign mission which I've been showing you for the last couple of minutes. It's called The Demon Within, and in the mission you explore the interior of Sarah Hall's mind. This is stuff that we have established. But the key thing that he noticed and remembered is that alongside all the other zombies references in this mission, alongside the fact that you fight some zombies in the mission, there's also, yeah, you guessed it, a house which, surprise, surprise, we also see in Nikolai's memory segment. I'm going to prove to you now that it's the exact same house, and then I suppose we'll explore the Casa del Belinsky. Right now on your screen, you're seeing two different screenshots from the teaser trailer, and I've colored in certain objects so that we can keep track of them. Now, you're looking at screenshots from the house in the campaign mission. Notice that the objects are in the exact same places, and it's quite clearly the same house. We've got another shot that we can compare as well here, and that pretty much puts the nail in the coffin. I'm now going to play the sequence that brings us into the house itself.
Sarah, why do you think we're here? What's so significant about this battle? Why did you dream about it?
I played the details over and over in my mind. I knew I wasn't strong enough to fight this battle. I knew I wasn't brave enough. When I wrote that paper, I hadn't even seen real combat yet. I had read first-hand accounts of what they went through, but I couldn't imagine how they did it, how they held on.
Sometimes you have to hold on.
Sometimes you have to let go.
Sometimes you have to hold on, sometimes you have to let go. Those words will be important in a moment, but first, I want to go back to the letter from the field that I mentioned before. It's all well and good this being Nikolai's house, but is it his house? What reasons do we have to believe that it could be, and if it isn't, what is it and why is he there? So we know that right now we're in Belgium, but in reality we're not actually in Belgium, we're in Sarah Hall's mind. We're in her version of Belgium that she dreamt about when she was writing her paper. We also know that at some point, young Nikolai, so this isn't old Nikolai who's drunk and crazy, this is young Origins Nikolai, is thinking of himself and remembering himself, seemingly, in this very house, this house in Belgium that we see in Sarah Hall's memory. So I posed a question to you. Do you think that Nikolai was present at the Battle of Bastogne? Or do you think that he lived in this house or visited this house or was present in this house at some point before the battle and that's why he's remembering it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Remember, there's no right answer here. This is all up to interpretation, and so for now, we can only really speculate and draw links between things, but nothing is concrete. I've already mentioned twice in this video that I want to bring up one of the letters from the field, and I'm going to do that now. It's written by Nikolai and dated February 23rd, 1918. The people of France share my hatred and contempt for the Hun. They have been very kind to me on my journeys, offering me food, shelter, and other more worldly comforts. It is a great relief that even amongst the madness of war, I may still find moments of joy in the arms of a good woman. So obviously, to get to the Origins dig site, he had to travel through France. Is there a possibility that he also therefore traveled through Belgium? Is there a further chance that he happened to pass through Bastogne, and that's why he was at this house? Perhaps he even spent a night there, in the arms of a good woman. Another possibility is that Treyarch just needed a house to plonk Nikolai in, and they happened to choose this one. I actually wouldn't be at all surprised if there were a fair few of you echoing this exact sentiment in the comments section. Several of those people won't have watched the video this far, and so they won't hear my explanation, and the others, well, they just disagree, and that's fine. Personally, I think that it would have been extremely lazy for Treyarch to just pick a random room and say, yep, we're just going to use that, and Nikolai's going to be remembering a random room for absolutely no reason at all, despite the fact that we're dedicating an entire teaser trailer to Nikolai's memories. And so we're taking something that is clearly very important and just throwing in a random room. To me, that doesn't make sense at all, and I don't think that's what Treyarch has done. However, I don't think that this is necessarily his house, as in a house that he owns, either. Although it could be. It's certainly possible. In fact, maybe that is the case. But what I reckon is going on here is a little potentially more complex. Nikolai is sitting in what appears to be a frozen forest. He's sitting there, stoking the fire, and thinking about his life. He says that he's fought in many battles, many wars, but he has lost only one. He's regretful. He talks about his family in the trailer and says that he wants to return to them, but in this teaser trailer says that his path is set and his fate sealed. He seems to have, in a sense, lost hope. In my mind, it seems like he is questioning how he's going to do it, how he is going to hold on. And that is the exact sentiment that Hall echoes when she talks about Bastogne. She thinks about Bastogne and dreams about Bastogne because for her, it represents a fight that is so mountainous, so towering and colossal and gargantuan and scary that she knows without a doubt that she isn't strong enough and she isn't brave enough to fight that battle. Similarly, in Black Ops 3 Zombies, Nikolai has an immense task ahead of him. He's trying to ensure that these children, these innocents, have a future that is untainted by the chaos of the world in which he lives. It's not going to be easy. He's already made great sacrifices. His family, he's loved them, and now he's lost them. Regret has crushed his heart and blackened his very soul. And so he's sitting here, in the woods, thinking, just like Hall, about Bastogne, about his own Bastogne. He's thinking about the brave and courageous and valiant actions of those soldiers that, despite the fact that they had no cold weather gear, no food, no water, no resupplies, no anything, no backup, they fought and they fought and they said nuts to the Germans and fought some more. Whether it's meant to be a direct metaphor or not, I think that it's certainly interesting to just explore this as a possibility for what's going on in Nikolai's head. He's a pretty damn complex character, and I think he's going to be fairly important in Black Ops 3 Zombies. Thanks for watching, guys. Tally ho, bye-bye.